Emily not only preaches it, but she lives it, and she is a person who does compassionate community so well. Let me introduce, if I can, kind of a friend and maybe new to you all, Fritz Danner. Emily mentioned as well that we were part of a currently going on in Spain. Howard Griffin and another group of folks are in Spain serving, and that's exciting. Fritz, come on. Yeah, come on. You keep moving. You'll be good. And then Fritz and a group of guys went to Ireland not long ago. They actually worked on a home. It's a retreat center. They worked really hard, did great stuff there. And Fritz is going to tell you a little bit more about that. Fritz originally is from Anchorage, Alaska. He has 8 children, so if he looks tired, no. He's got 8 great kids. He works in the construction business here in Amarillo, and he was part of that group of 14 who went to Ireland. So Fritz, tell me a little more about what went on.
Thank you, Murray. I'd like to start with a quote that is popularly attributed to an Irish poet, William Butler Yeats, but that's in dispute if you Google it. Being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy, which sustained him through temporary periods of joy. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. Sometimes it's suffering that makes us more truthful. Though all men are liars at one time or another, I'll do my best to be truthful in my allotted time. 14 men from this congregation traveled in 18 hours what once took 2 months over treacherous seas, 4,500 miles, that's from Amarillo to Dublin, to help a friend advance a hope and a vision that he has for his country and its spiritually wounded people. I personally was moved by the generosity of these men in this group, laying aside their time and their status to assume humble, menial, and often frustrating tasks in the hope that their efforts might mean something good at some unknown time to some poor soul in need. Your generosity as a congregation in supporting us is sincerely appreciated. It's a good thing to have joined with Billy Swan in his effort, and I thank you, and I know that the men in the group thank you. Dick Doyle asked me at dinner late in the trip what my estimate of the value of our work was, or what it might be. I replied to him that it would perhaps survive scrutiny at a value of $30,000. I just wanted to report that, and Dick wanted me to share that with you just to reassure you that you got good value. Our crew was diligent, tireless, and occasionally hard of hearing. I would defend them against any critic, and they're all new friends to me, so I'm very grateful for that. I'll close my time with an account of a conversation I had on the streets of Dublin our second day in. Fernando, Pete, and I found Milton outside of a pub talking with 3 young men in their 30s, Brandon, Colin, and Robert. They were curious about us. We were curious about them. I was left with them in a probing conversation when Brandon, a 4th-generation Irish carpenter, asked me flatly, "Your faith, what good is it to you then?" I replied, "Your work as a carpenter, the work itself, its quality and its imperfection, tells the truth. All you have to do is work with a man, see his work, and you can know exactly who he is as a tradesman. That's because you know the standard. You've paid a price to learn it, you've suffered a bit to learn it, and because you knew that standard was true, you wanted to pay the price. For me, in life, There are things that I want to know, that I still want to know. And like my trade, that knowledge comes at a price. My faith is aimed at God as my teacher, my master. My mistakes make me teachable. So when Christ examines my work, I gain insight. Sometimes I gain wisdom, but always the truth. So I'm not trapped believing my own lies. That is the good my faith does me. Brandon answered, "Well then," looking me straight in the eyes, "you've changed me thinking about it." You see, a sower went out. That's each of us. That's each of you, all of us. Just casting seeds about. Thank you very much for your support.
Hey, Fritz. Thank you, Fritz, and thank you. I see other guys that went as well. Thank you all for serving the Lord in that way.